study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
This summer, serve up the Cookout Classics, Kraft Mayo and Dressing. Toss green salads with delicious ranch dressing or zesty Italian. Serve smooth, craveably creamy potato salads with mayo. We all know it's not a cookout without Kraft.
Sometimes the branding comes last minute, and sometimes the branding comes last hour. I mean, I thought of this earlier today. Today we're doing the perfect 10. And I'm going to let Bryan explain this because this was your idea, and it comes from a larger conversation. And I'll say this, that we will talk about more on a after the fact in the future. So pledge to the Patreon, patreon.com/ohhi Justin. Be on the lookout for that. But this is something that you're bringing to the dance. So explain to me what the perfect 10 is.
This summer, Prime Video takes you back before Legally Blonde, before law school, and into the world of Elle Woods in high school. Set in 1995, this Gemini vegetarian knows exactly who she is until her family moves from Bel Air to Seattle. Packed with iconic fashion, 90s nostalgia, and a throwback soundtrack, Elle proves one thing. Law school was hard. High school was harder. From the world of Legally Blonde, watch Elle, a new original series only on Prime Video July 1st.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
So this is my perfect 10 albums. This isn't I have a spreadsheet. I've listened to over 1,200 albums, and I actually have like 16 perfect albums. But I did the work and I broke it down to 10 that I wanted to bring here. So these aren't like they are my favorites, obviously, but these are like perfect for me. Like, my favorite album of all time is Yield by Pearl Jam, but Yield won't be on here because it's not perfect. It's got songs that I'm not like 100% on, but that's my home. Like, that's my comfort. These do have comfort as well, but these are just perfectly Bryan. And I just feel that all of these are, you listen to all the way through, for me anyway. So I'm not going to come out as like a music nerd. I'm not like Anthony Fantano or one of these other guys who's going to be like, you need to listen to this album. It's, hopefully it doesn't come across as douchey. So I'm going to do my best to not do that. There are going to be some albums that are like that, but I'm going to do my best to keep it as not like, if you don't like this album, then you don't know music or you don't like music or something like that. So that's kind of, and they all kind of, they do all kind of tie together, even though this may seem like a mishmash of albums and genres. It will all make sense in the end.
All right. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Okay. So my first one, I'm gonna go with number 10. I did rank these. So this is the pop album. This is the only pop album I have currently on my 16. I'm always re-listening to albums, always rediscovering, because your musical palette changes constantly. I never demote any of my tens, even if my palette changes, but these tens are the tens. So this is a pop album. It comes across as a concept album, though. It has a real concept feel. Um, Usually when you listen to a pop album, you're listening to like manufactured songs. You're listening to things that just they don't feel natural. Um, they don't feel true to the artist. They feel like they were written by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Every song on this album was written by the artist. It was written by the artist. You feel what she's saying. All these songs have a story to them, and I did an episode on her, and I even said this is a perfect album. This is something that I think everyone should listen to, and that is Lord, a melodrama.
Beautiful.
With it is. I think it draws you in. It's a modern pop album that reads like a progressive rock concept album. It's the whole album tells a story. So here we are, number 10. So number 9. This is a hip hop album. This is kind of underground. This is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Not a huge name, but it came at the end of the 90s, which is kind of but it doesn't feel like the end of the 90s. It's taking what it learned from early. This artist takes what he learned from earlier in the 90s, puts it out there. This is East Coast rap. This has like the boom bap feel to it. It's very soulful. It's timeless. He also has a lot of commentary, storytelling. But it predates Common. It predates Kendrick Lamar. The artist is a Mos Def, and not, like I said, not a rapper that people are gonna go, oh yeah, Mos Def, definitely. I definitely know him. The album is called Black on Both Sides, and it's just like the whole thing tells a story. It's a very conscious hip hop album. It just listening to it, it's warm. It just sucks you in. It just feels like it kind of ends the 90s perfectly, because we get to 99 and Eminem is coming up, bringing like Detroit rap. Outkast is huge, down in Georgia. So it's kind of like the last gasp for like East Coast rap. But it also feels fresh at the same time. So there we go. Black on Both Sides by Mos Def. All right. So now our next one. So this one's not going to be like as profound or like emotional as the first two. But it does its job like perfectly. Its job is to spend 45 minutes kicking your ass. Like 100%. Just, it comes at you from the beginning. It's funny. There's like a narration to it. And every song is just about frustration, youth, energy, and it is the most successful independent album of all time. It is the best pop punk album of all time. If you want to call it pop punk, if you want to call it punk, call it what you will. It is going to represent the year 1994. Uh, Smash by The Offspring.
Oh.
I mean, you put it on and you have this voice greet you into the album. It kicks right into Nitro and it doesn't stop. Even when you hit like the ballads, if you want to call them ballads, they still come at you at 100 miles an hour. Just absolutely knocks everything down around it. So, all right. So now we're gonna go. All right. So this next album is the complete opposite of Smash. This one is super dark. It's depressing. It's emotional, but it's also it creates an atmosphere. The way it brings you in. I didn't initially have the patience for this album. When I first listened to this artist years ago, I hated them. I thought they were boring. I didn't get it. And this is the one where I say, okay, I'm gonna sit down and listen to this thing, and I'm gonna see where it takes me and like really what happens. And what's funny too is so this album came out like at the end of like the goth era almost. Like goth was coming to an end. And this band decided that they were going to just put out like the best thing that they've ever done as goth is ending. A Disintegration by The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you knew that one was coming.
I had a feeling, yes.
With the lead up, yeah. So it's, you know, it's great because of like the feelings that it makes. It's one of those albums that you can put on and you can just get like absolutely lost in. It's like I said, it's just a perfect one for me. All right. So next, all right. So this is another rap album. This is an artist that I did cover on Deprogrammed, and I wish I could do it again. Honestly, because when I did the Deprogrammed on him, I was still only like a year or two into listening to this artist, and I don't think I got it as much as I do now. When I listen to this album now, it hits just so much different. It's about depression, anxiety, addiction, like and self-improvement. Like that's the biggest thing. And I've been not with like, substances or whatever, but I've been doing a lot of my own self-improvement lately. Which I'll get into it at some point, but just doing things on myself. And even like the name of the album, it just represents like just keep moving and just keep moving forward. And on the cover of the album, the artist, he's just sitting there and he looks defeated, and like you look at it and you're like, what is it? It all means something. The artist is Mac Miller, and the album is Swimming, and it's just written about his struggles. And unfortunately, he passed away not long after Swimming came out. He was swimming and trying to get past his demons and trying to live his life. But he was never able to do it. And all the songs are written like just about his struggle. I said in the episode, like this is almost like a grunge album, if Alice in Chains did rap, like this is what it would be. And he hits so many different genres in his hip hop. He's got jazz, he's got funk. He puts it all together, and it's still very sad that he put out this record, and when it looked like he was finally taking somewhere, taking off, and then just couldn't get it together, and ended up being like the victim here. So there we go. Swimming, and I think that's number 6. Yeah, number 6. Oh, yeah, number 6. Mac Miller, Swimming. All right. I got a lot more to say about the top 5. So, top 5. Here we go. This one is a favorite album. I would rank it higher. Hey, some people are gonna rank it way higher. This album is, it's historic. It knocked Michael Jackson off the top of the charts. It brought an end to the dreaded hair metal era. It's got punk energy with hooks. It sounds like if the Beatles wrote punk. This is, of course, Nevermind by Nirvana. I said, is it my favorite Nirvana record? No, I say In Utero is my favorite. But Nevermind is just, but even In Utero, like, I skip Francis Farmer a lot. Like, it's...
We're going to have to talk about that.
Justin scoffed. But Nevermind is just so perfect. And here's my 91. So there we go. 94 and 91 represented. That's for something else. So, and what can I say about Nevermind that, like, people here, like, aren't gonna know? It's just from the opening chords, It Smells Like Teen Spirit. It brings you in. It goes up, it goes down. It's just like it's a perfect, it's borderline a pop punk record in itself. Being so poppy, taking all the influences of Pixies and Mudhoney, and taking everything from like the Seattle sound and kind of putting it together into one thing. All right, number 4. So number 4, I have, this is the only artist. So I have two albums by this artist that are on the list, that are on my perfect album list. But I only wanted one to be represented here. So I had to think about, like, okay, which one am I gonna put out there on my top 10? Because they're both obviously excellent. So I say, well, let's go with the first one. Let's go with the earlier one, because I don't think the second one happens without the first one. So the first one it's heavy, it's proggy, it's complex, and the way the thing that I like about, and I also did a show on this band as well. The thing I love most about it is it's like funny. Like I brought up in an episode that the lead singer has this humor, but it's very witty, but he keeps it dark. And the way that the album is tracked, the track list is absolutely insane, because you never know what's gonna happen next. Like, never. Once when you play this album for the first time, it's a roller coaster. So the album is, of course, Tool, Enema. So you come in with Stinkfist, with this, like, which sounds like it could be on their first record. Then you go to a prog song, Eulogy, that starts off with 90 minutes of, like, just a metronome sound, 90 seconds of a metronome sound. Then you go back to a heavy metal song with H. Then you have this weird thing in between. Then you go to 46 and 2, which brings in a whole new sound because of the new bassist. Then you have another weird like art piece. Then you hit with another heavy metal song with Hooker on a Penis. Then you have Calliope music that turns into a heavy metal song. So like there's no break. Like there's no, and it's set up that way perfectly. It goes back and forth between metal and prog and heavy and these transition songs, these art songs that they're like a tonal reset. They're supposed to make you like feel unsettled or dark. Like that's the point of it. It's just it's moving you along, and everything is done so specifically. All the art tracks are put in there specifically in a certain way, and the way that everything feeds into everything else, it's just an absolute ride. It just doesn't stop. So perfect. All right, top 3. Here we go. This is what I consider. Now I had to put this one above Anima because I've always considered this the best heavy metal album of all time. And this is why I don't like the genre labels, because it's labeled as a certain genre. Parts of it are, parts of it aren't. This is borderline a prog metal album. The album that comes after is definitely prog metal. When you have a heavy metal track that's 9 minutes long and it's all instrumental, I'm sorry, you're not thrash. You're prog. It comes at you with acoustic guitars, then blasts right into the record, and every song has that dynamic. It has highs and lows and long solos. Of course, this is a Master of Puppets by Metallica. Well, I can see it's again, people say, "Oh, this is a thrash record." I mean, yeah, it's thrash-y. I wouldn't. Kill 'Em All is a thrash record. This is like a musical, like masterpiece. I would love to know what would happen if Cliff Burton were still with us. He was the musical force behind Metallica. He was what made this kind of thing possible. It's not just a collection of heavy metal songs. It's a whole movement. It creates the whole atmosphere. It's dark, and if it produces if an album produces imagery in your mind, like these albums all produce imagery in my mind. They all have that where they're telling a story. So that, and Master of Puppets is just a freaking kick-ass record. I wish Metallica didn't just become like a joke of themselves, because it would be amazing if they still put out stuff like this.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right. Number 2. Here we go. Number 2. This again, it's how can I put it? It's about isolation and paranoia. There's emotional releases. Every song has its own like emotional release, but the tension of the album still builds the entire time. It's highly experimental, but accessible. It's there is lots of experimental, and this was hugely looked. This was originally looked down on by their fans. They were like, no, what is this? We don't want this. But it's come to be beloved. It's come to be considered one of the greatest albums of all time. And I'm not gonna get music nerdy about it, but this is Radiohead's OK Computer, and it's again something that I used to not really like, and it's because it has experimentation, and then as you listen to it more and more, it just you're like, no, this is, especially compared to what they would do later, this is very accessible. Like, there are the singles, but the singles don't detach from the rest of the record. Like, it's hard to explain. How can I compare it? I compare it to like Downward Spiral. Downward Spiral is really close to being like a perfect record for me, but the singles kind of, especially Closer, kind of detach you from the experience. Here with OK Computer, the singles just kind of flow right in. They don't take you away from what's happening with the album. They're part of the structure, not they're Paranoid Android is not bigger than OK Computer, where Closer is bigger than the Downward Spiral, if that makes sense. All right, here we go. Number 1. This is what will be this is my number 1. I think the most perfect album. Even comparing it to Lord, to Mos Def, to Mac Miller, to Metallica, I don't think any of that happens without this. There's gonna be groans. I'm fully prepared. I chose to not do. This is one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite albums. I would no hate or disrespect to anybody who signed up. I would not do a Deprogrammed on this band. I said no. I saw it there. I said no. It is not possible to do this. And as Justin learned, it is not possible to do this. When you have an album that's only 8 songs and 2 of them are the exact same song over 10 parts, you can't. So this is a concept album. This is sadness, like, to a T. This is one of the saddest records I've ever listened to. It's one of the saddest songs I've ever listened to. Anytime I listen to the big single, I get goosebumps. I get teary-eyed. And it's just, I get that they had a huge concept album right before it, but to me, this one is better. This is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And it's like the whole album is just a love song to Syd Barrett. Obviously, losing Syd Barrett was a huge thing for the rest of the band. That's what the song "Wish You Were Here" is about. They had. I think this was shortly before Syd died, or he had come back to them a little bit, but Syd Barrett is like the original guitarist and everything for Pink Floyd. He was a major part of Pink Floyd, and he went insane. He ended up, he's the character in The Wall. He is Pink. He's the person who goes crazy. And this whole album is to him. and the atmosphere, the songwriting. Again, this to me is just the perfect album. It's to me it's what every other prog album or concept album wants to be. They all want to recreate Wish You Were Here. And like I said, and as I described the other albums, I kind of link them all together. Even Lord, that album kind of tells a story the whole time. Mos Def is telling, he's being introspective with his rap. He's telling you a story. Mac Miller's telling you a story. That's what gets me. My kids always say that I'm dead on the inside because I'm not like an outwardly emotional person, but these albums all speak to me in that certain way, and they make me feel things. So, and to me, Wish You Were Here is just the top of the line for that. And I think it really made me like who I am. Like really getting into this record really helped develop my taste in music and what I look for and why these emotional songs all kind of, albums all kind of tie together for me. So there you are.
Man, there's some shockers in there. Offspring, did not expect to hear that at all in the history of probably doing anybody's perfect 10 records. Hey man, anybody can disagree with them all you want, but the criteria is yours. It met your criteria. That's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, even Smash, like it may seem like, well, Smash isn't like an emotion. It is. It's just 45 minutes of anger and put to pop rock, much like Nevermind. It's, I was, when I was, 12, 13 years old, I was the kid, 60 pounds soaking wet. I was the kid always picked on. I was the kid, tossed into the locker or tossed into a garbage can, and it's so everything there speaks to me personally. Like I said, I don't expect anybody, I'm not going to say, oh, you don't think Wish You Were Here is a top album, then, you're not a music lover. These are the albums that speak to me personally.
And with that in mind, Anderson has already said that he wants to do one. If you're listening to this and you would like to do one, let me know, and we will figure out a time and a place that makes sense to get it recorded. Bryan, thank you so much for sharing with us today, and we will see you all tomorrow.